interesting show today. We're gonna talk about our new administration, where you got a new president in office. He was President-elect Trump, but now he is President Trump. Um, talk about some of his policies, and it was an interesting conversation me and Jermaine was just having on something Elon Musk said.
Yeah.
About as you would say, war robots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
That's the scary part.
And I have to start out with, I listened to the inauguration yesterday. I seen him sign his executive orders in. It was very, it sounded like a campaign rally.
Yeah.
It really did, his speech. And his intellect is so narrow. And I kind of like wonder, do people really be listening to that?
Yeah.
Like, this is the biggest ever. Like, every speech that man say, he say this is going to be the biggest and the greatest ever. But it just was, to me, it was one-sided. And when I feel like when you become a president to all the people, not just the people that voted for you. But one of the biggest highlights from yesterday is that he pardoned 16 of the protesters. Yeah, 1,600, you are correct. Of the protesters that protested on January the 6th, 2021. And what bothered me the most is because when people from the opposition protest, he called them un-American. But his whole speech pretty much was un-American. It wasn't about uniting America. It really was about being very divisive. And I thought we would see a better, I don't know why, I thought we would see a better personality in him. But it's actually the same old rhetoric, even worse now. He even got down to saying he was still talking about winning the election, saying that he could have won California, but their voter ID laws are so vague that it's illegal to ask somebody in California for an ID for voting. So he said that's how he know California is crooked and their election is fraud, because they don't ask anybody for IDs when they're voting.
What they giving away millions?
Yeah, they was giving away IDs.
Free millions for people to vote.
Well, yeah.
Not fraud.
Well,
Thank you.
Elon was giving away money. Yeah. Yeah, so he was pretty much buying the vote. That's what it looked like to me.
And isn't it ironic? You won the election, you fraud won whatever you did.
Yeah.
You won the election. On your inauguration, you still talking about you could have won other states if they wasn't fraud. So I just couldn't get it. I was like, what does it matter at this point? You won the election.
Yeah.
And California has been a Democratic state forever. I mean, I would have to look it up. When was the last time they were? But I know it's been over the last 40 years. California has been a Democratic state, so I couldn't get why he was on his inauguration. But he is taking back the Dream Act. So people that was here, that was born here, and their parents are immigrants, he wants to take millions of people back. I went to a rally last Thursday. They're opening up ICE. They say in Brown Deer, in your neck of the woods, Brian.
Yeah, I see out there.
And my co-host, just mosey on in. What's
going on, man? Let me tell you real quick, because your topics are deep, and that's definitely what we need to hear. First, I want to say hey to everybody. How y'all doing? It's been a while since I've been on here. I've had a birthday since January 11th was my
Yeah.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
Thank
bro.
you, man. I appreciate it. Had a good time. Was able to celebrate. Went down there for work too, so we spent hours working in the summit. That was really rewarding. I'll talk about that later if you want to get into the voter registration part. But yes, way out there in the northwest side area, I did see that they were, and you know what? That's back there,
And
and
they said they gonna try to correct it and say it's not gonna be a center where they deporting the people. It's gonna be the administrators.
so it's so that's what it looked like they want to do. Is I know it was talked about a lot last week. I heard about it from Tamika saying that I think some of the shows talked about it, but yeah, they want to use it as like a processing / transport location. Correct.
They said they don't want to have none of the illegal. I'm gonna call them human beings. They said they don't want to have human beings there, other than administrative, homeland security staff and ICE staff.
Yeah.
So they saying that it's not supposed to be a deportation center, but you can tell that they're already starting to drum up for his administration.
Mm-hmm.
But Jermaine, can you please informate the people, because you the one brought it to
Yeah.
my attention.
I'm pulling it up.
And if that happens, that is crazy.
They are working on a robot, a biometric robot. I'm pulling it up now, and they're going to release it on a battlefield. This is a robot that they're working on. They're going to release it on the battlefield. But what fused this robot is human flesh. So human remains. So the robot would consume the humans to get its power and energy. I'm almost there. So
That's
so not only that.
So our enemies, when they shoot them, and
you can't kill them.
You can't kill them, and when they shoot them and kill them, they're gonna eat them to get fuel.
That's a little crazy because one, even though it's war, there's still rules to war.
Here it is, right?
You still can't, what I'm saying? It's still rules in war. Like, they establish certain things that you can't do in war. Like you can't use napalm, you can't use mustard gases and things like that. So I can't see them allowing them to let robots eat flesh. That'd be like against
because the people won't even be able to identify their people.
All that's what I'm saying.
In
love of war,
though. Huh?
All is fair is love of war. So if I hit you with a tank and blow you up with a tank, it ain't gonna be no remains. It ain't gonna be none of that.
But that's but they let you do that. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's a part of the rules of war.
Don't care nothing about the remains. Though.
Yeah, we can.
You ain't wrong. You made a good point there, Jermaine.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. That's the technicalities of war. Like you can attack a person with like a 2,000-pound bomb at their residence, but you can't like mustard gas them to death.
Oh well, yeah.
That's but that even okay. So I was watching this thing the other night on YouTube, and it was talking about how the CIA and the government had used there's certain tactics to get Muammar Gaddafi back in during the 2010-11 liberation of Libya, and how they used the CIA trained official over there to run, just how the government usually they use somebody over there, they train up somebody and have somebody that's
and he finna take us to war, y'all.
Yeah,
let me remember that too.
Somebody that's against the current government, which is in Libya, was Muammar Gaddafi's government. So they was showing how the CIA, of course, infiltrated that, but they was discussing ways, and this was back in the 80s. So I guess he had blew up a nightclub. Gaddafi had blew up a nightclub full of army soldiers in the 1980s in Germany. They was trying to find a way to retaliate. So this is what they were doing. This tripped me out. So they was like, we can't assassinate them because they signed some treaty in the 70s where they said that the U.S. government would never pretty much directly assassinate a leader, the president or a leader. Yeah. So they were like, okay, we can't assassinate them, but pretty much we could get to a point where they were going to bomb where he was going to be at. So they was trying to figure out ways. Like, okay, it was like, yeah, it's still going against the code, right? It's still the same thing. Yeah, that's what they said. And that's what you people were saying. It was like, we may not be assassinating them directly, but we're still we're still indirectly assassinating. I was like, yeah, y'all still can do it.
Right. We just moved
Right.
mom across the street.
Exactly. We didn't put nothing in his soup or nothing in his African and Libyan African dish, but we we dropped the 6,000-pound bomb 10 times over his house and everything connected to his house. So he was just tripping me out the technicalities. So yeah. So I was just thinking, like, man, even just with that'd be just the next level of just savagery if they even
That's
allow that. But then,
savage.
I don't think they would need to because they got all these high tech batteries. You know what I'm saying? Like, China is working on. They just showed China had these military dogs, and they showed them with
No, 'cause I
small missiles
truly
on their back.
am with Jermaine on that because the way they talked yesterday, Brian, they automatically, and he talking about he's starting at this week where they finna send ISIS out and start deporting millions
Oh, ICE, yeah,
of
yeah,
immigrants.
right.
And when everybody think they were just talking about Hispanic immigrants, no, sir. They are talking about all kinds of immigrants. He wants to go to war and take back Panama.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a war.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a war. I don't even think that'd be, because I think that'd be a court situation, because that's, I mean, he wants to take the Panama Canal back.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I mean, I think that'd be more caught up in the court systems, just because it's, I mean, you really gonna send soldiers over there and send somebody over there to take over, something that's been already established for a long time. I mean, it's all silly.
You know why I said I'm
silly.
not really sure about how he gonna go about doing that. You true on that.
Yeah.
He didn't. He said that at the end. He kind of threw that in at the end of his speech that he wanted to take that back, but he also threw in that when you say a part of war, the art of war, we were to never deploy our army in America, and he's talking about doing that at the borders. So he's talking about deploying our army at the borders as well.
Yeah.
So, this is a nonpartisan conversation.
Right.
I'm just literally saying what our new administration is planning on doing from day one, from his speech, his inauguration speech, and then what he signed into his administrative orders he signed in yesterday. So he pretty much overturned a lot of Biden's policies administrative policies that he signed in. He's gonna take the lift off and stop giving people credits and bonuses for having on their taxes for having electric cars. So it's just a lot of stuff. But we got a caller on the air.
Yeah.
Caller, we got a caller on the air. Caller, you on the air?
Yeah. Just a couple of things. And the first one, don't accept the idea that, quote unquote, he won that election. In the next 20 years, we'll find out how they stole that election.
Well, we just said that. Yeah, you're right. We just said that we don't think, even for the point of him talking about he won in this inauguration, you already won. Why are you talking about you? If you heard me when I said supposedly won, when I first said it, why are you still talking about you could have won California?
Yeah, but I mean, if you just think about it, how he talking. He released all them folks that were, against the American people that was hired to do a job.
Yeah.
So contrary to what he thinks, he still can be tried for treason. And if he continues in this path, I'm pretty sure we will see that happen, because he did not win that election. He wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to agree with the caller, because I had the conversation and I'm like, wait a minute. This is the same process of elections that we had in 20 when he claimed it was stolen. This is the same, the same route that was taken in 20 was taken in 24. So if it was stolen then, why is it that it's not stolen now?
That's right.
And if you notice, right before he got elected in, a lot of these Republicans have put on the ballot like here in Wisconsin, they put on our ballot for the voter ID law to go into the
That's right.
for the voter ID law to go on a referendum so that it can be embedded into the Constitution as an amendment. He talked about it yesterday when he said he could have won California, but because they have linear voter ID laws, you don't have a right to ask a person for a voter ID in California. He said that's how he feel like their election is a fraud. He feel like he won there too.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just I don't know with this cat here, man. I just don't understand how these people that claim the White House have so much integrity. I mean, it's prestigious. It's 5 stars plus 5 more stars, and it's 10 stars, and it's prestigious, and this and this and that. But you allow this clown. You
there
know
you go.
he's a clown. He operates as
He
a
has
clown.
no intellect. I
Well,
get
see,
so high. I get so tired of hearing the biggest thing. This gonna be the best and the biggest thing ever. Like, do you got any other words in your vocabulary?
No, he don't, because
y'all got to remember a couple of things, though. The people that vote for Trump are people that stupid enough think they're going to beat Trump one day.
Yes.
That's why they allow him to
Oh,
do
I
and
got
say
to agree with
whatever
that
he
caller
wants.
on that. Yep.
None of them has no real skill, have no real desire. They have their personal greed, like Donald Trump, and they think they're going to be a Trump. But if you think Trump going to step out of the way to let you take over, you done lost your mind.
See, but this is the thing, though, Carlin. Trump don't have to step out the way. He can stay in for 4 years and pave the way to open the door for all of the other clowns
Well,
that's following
that
behind him.
Yeah, but that ain't my point. My point is they trying to get there because they think they're going to beat him. Trump, in 2015, I suggested that Trump would be tried for treason. That's how stupid he is. And sure enough, they went and tried him. Didn't put him in jail, but they sure made sure that he did stuff that he had no business doing. So that's just what I just wanted to say. Don't give them that they won this election. They did not win this election.
Well, I mean, whether it was stolen or not, they in office.
Yep, they are.
So,
All
just,
right.
yeah, thank you for calling. We appreciate that. So, again, Wisconsin Voices just wants to make sure that we highlight what's out there. We just giving out the facts of what we see. Anything
Right.
that is made on caller's behalf, that is
That's not the views
views,
of Wisconsin
Wisconsin
Voices or
Voices.
WNOV.
Yes, let that be known as well. Just to note too, during a rally in DC, Trump did say that his political ally Elon Musk had an advanced understanding of the voting machines used in Pennsylvania, which was a critical state that was a key to victory for the Trump administration. He's quoted to say he knows those computers better than anybody. All those computers, those vote counting computers, Trump told the crowd, and we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, end quote. So that's what he said this past Sunday, just to give you guys an idea of how
He said that yesterday in his speech,
yeah,
in his
a
inauguration
lot of things
speech.
he said was pretty repetitive in the speech.
It was
and
just like a remember I said that, Jermaine. It was just
Yeah.
like a Trump rally.
yeah,
It was pretty much like
yeah,
a Trump rally.
It was
Like
outside
he was
of
still on election campaign.
outside of that, I did enjoy, seeing some of the people from both parties and their facial expressions, and some people from other parties, like Mr. Bernie Sanders, pretty much sitting there in the same pose he had from 2017.
Yeah.
He was sitting there just, with his legs crossed, arms crossed, just looking like he was not amused with the surroundings. They caught a couple former presidents and their first ladies in some interesting facial expressions. I did see that as well. Some of the things that were said were causing a little stir in the crowd or stir within the opposites.
You wasn't here when I said it. I said he really just caused he really cause a divide.
Yeah.
He wasn't there
Mhm.
to represent all the people. Even though certain people voted for you, you as the president, you should be there. That would be a speech where you're trying to unite and at least come together and let all the Americans know that we're here to support all y'all.
All right. So with
And
that
I
being
know
said,
not to expect that out of
right,
him, but
right. So with that being said, he, I'm just gonna go off of what he mentioned. I'm not gonna say that it was it was heartfelt words one way or another, but this is things he said. He did mention MLK and mentioning uniting um, the community. I did hear that from
Yeah.
come out his mouth.
he
And
you
he
did
know?
also
say
said
thank you for
that
the
he
black
wasn't
vote.
colorblind.
He
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Thank you for the black and Hispanic vote. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was certain things. I mean, I think there was that little gap where he
And
said
when
that.
he signed the first
Executive order.
executive order, when he gave the first pen to a black man.
And which was his first. I mean, it's not even like they're truly. Man, you just trying to catch and see what
Just catch moments.
you want to catch moments and see what's really being said or not. So I mean, either way, you have to. You can't get too emotional on either end, whether you feel like your side lost or your side won, whatever side you in. You gotta handle business as it's given to us and continuously make sure that we are educating ourselves day to day, especially if you're younger and you got a lot of time to wrap up in it. A lot of people are going through their life and having business to take care of, so you want to make sure that you're taking care of your family, but also knowing the things that are going to affect your family, whether it's a local law or legislative move or something that has came down the pipe uh, from a federal move as well. So we just want to make sure that people are not too overly emotional in this, and also if you are, take that emotional energy and use it to research, and that's what I'm saying. Wisconsin Voices with the civic engagement, some of the programs, even for our younger youth that need to be engaged with what's going on, and having them understand it so they won't feel emotional. I know a lot of the Gen Zs and a lot of the ones that are in that gap of that 18 to 20 something years old are still trying to comprehend the full scale of what happened, especially if you come from a background of really not being engaged into the politics. Right now it seems like you're kind of being forced into being aware, but you should know what's going on and not forget about the people that are serving you locally, and making sure that we keep the right folks in office, and if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, we move them around. Doesn't matter what background they are. This is the time that we need the people that's going to hear us in the office, and making sure that we hold them accountable and get their numbers too. Leave them voicemails and those emails, wherever side they on.
You had a caller on the air.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning. I just want to comment on some of these executive orders because I was reading on Facebook some stuff that people are writing.
Mhm.
The executive order where he said fathers that pay child support
Yeah.
can file their children on their taxes.
Yep.
That meant nothing because that was always true. People just need to learn how to read their child support orders. They would have found out that they can do that every other year. A father that pays child support is allowed to file their children.
Wait, hold on. Let me stop you. You can file, but you won't get the money. The money will go to the mother. So what he did was he said if the mother was getting child support, you would get the support. But if the father files the child on their tax return, they get the tax return. So the tax return wouldn't go to the mother because you would be paying twice. You'll be paying for the tax return and for the child support order. That's what he did.
What it is if the father is current on his taxes
No.
in Wisconsin.
No. What he signed, that executive order, was if the mother is receiving child support and if the father try to claim the child, he would receive that tax credit instead of that tax credit going to the mother and the child support order.
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
No, well, I mean, I ain't gonna tell you all my business, but yeah.
It
You can say what you
was a
want, but I ain't gonna tell you
win-win.
all my business. But yeah,
It was a win-win, huh?
win-win for me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Yeah. See, yeah, I haven't had to experience
Oh,
that,
I
but yeah,
think-
callers, male callers, tell us what you have to experience when it comes to the child support. Does this align with what you think? Whether you voted for Donald Trump or not, what do you feel about the change within the tax within the tax? Was it with the child support, right?
Yeah, because for those people that haven't been on that opposite side of the hammer,
Right.
they don't understand
Right.
and know what it feels like. Because again, child support is supposed to be for absent fathers and not broken relationships.
Right.
So a lot of these child support orders is because of a broken relationship,
Right.
and I fall under the umbrella of the broken relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very, very personal to me.
You know what? It's not only because I fall under that umbrella too. It's not only for the broken relationship, because literally my husband, they literally told us we had to divide in that courtroom, and he was a defendant and I was a complainant. I was the on the plaintiff side, and called me a hostile witness because I'm like, he already take care of his kids. So what would you need to take money out his check for? Because he already in my household paying bills.
Yeah.
So why would you need to take money out of his check?
Yeah.
And they literally called me a hostile witness for the state and said and made this order against my will, literally just because they want to have a divide.
Check this out. The judge said in my situation, looked at her and said, "What do you want me to do with him?" And she looked back at me and smiled, looked at the judge and said, and I remember this verbatim, "I just wanted to teach him a lesson." The reason why I was even in this position was because I went and had another child.
Wow.
After we broke up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Heard of that
That's
type
how
of stories before.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is
Yeah, there's so many angles.
Yeah.
There's so many angles it can
I
come
feel
to
you. I feel you. Let's get this caller.
Yeah.
Calm down, Jermaine.
Woosah.
I feel you.
What's up, caller? You on the air? Your Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, Action, Wisconsin. I just want to call in.
Wisconsin Voices. Wisconsin
Hey,
Voices.
you know,
JT, we gonna
excuse me.
rename it Action Wisconsin for you, man.
You know, I try to get it right. Don't get mad at me, okay?
No, it's okay.
That's
But
okay.
anyway,
JT.
much love for all of y'all for
Same
being
to
there
you.
and braving that cold weather. Are y'all kidding me?
Yeah. Nice cold
Y'all
ride this
there?
morning.
Hey,
Yeah.
much love. But I want to share with you. First of all, thank you for being there in the first place, and you know, braving this cold weather and stuff like that. But that's what it takes when you care about the community. So what did I just say? Wisconsin Action Voices, or did I mess
Wisconsin
that up?
Voices. Wisconsin Voices.
Hey, thank you, sir. What's your
Wisconsin
name?
Action Voices.
Those are Action Voices.
Yeah,
Hey,
Wisconsin
I'm gonna
Voices.
get it right. Hey, Jermaine, I'm gonna get it right.
You gonna get it right, Doc. You gonna get it one of these days. You gonna get it right.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Ryoff. Hey, man, I ain't
There
mad
you
at you.
There you go, JT.
Hey, Carby P. Ain't mad. Hey, and Mr. Devo ain't mad. But anyway, I just want to say, everybody there this morning in the studio, you know what's difficult. I heard about talking about child support and all of that. You know what's for real. It can go any way. On the man's side or woman's side. As you know, what I'm saying, trying to say anyway. But the laws, especially Wisconsin laws, make it like that, and they make it harder for the black men. But anyway, make a long story short, you was talking earlier about Donald Trump getting to the White House again. Now, I want to say, as we all know, his agenda was what they used to call that, Project 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I think they started that back in 2022.
Yes.
Excuse me. I'm just thinking, and young people, please help me out because I may not be on the right track. What is that in the background?
Oh, don't worry.
Don't
It's
worry
a
about it.
Spanish speaking phone.
Speaking of Spanish speaking phones,
Yeah.
you know what? Speaking of that, you know what? Now, excuse me for I try to be on the right track and on thinking how y'all thinking. But come on now, our Latino brothers and sisters, you know what? They went out. Some of them went out and voted for Trump, like we had on our side of the fence. We had some black Republicans like that going out supporting Donald Trump. We had our Latino brothers and sisters going out and voting for Donald Trump. You know what he turned around and did? I'm going to do a mass deportation. Right?
Yeah.
Am I lying? Am I
No.
lying about that?
Doc,
No,
you right.
you right.
You right.
So guess what? They may now, standing like a deer caught in somebody's headlights. You went out and voted for this man because you thought he's going to help you. But then he turned around and say, I'm going to do mass deportation and all that kind of stuff. By the way, what I call to say, first of all, thank all of you for being there and telling the truth and telling it like it is. And I want to say that respectfully. And you know what? We have 4 years of Donald Trump. We had him before. Now we had him again. We survived before with him and his antics and stuff like that. And those Ku Klux Klan people, red metal caps and all that kind of stuff. We survived that before. We're going to do it again. You know why? Because we got young people. We have young people like yourself that's standing there telling the truth and telling it like it is. Now, I may be a old soldier, a Vietnam veteran, and stuff like that, but I worked in the community and stuff like that. Besides that, but when I was out there with Commander Mike McGee and Teju, and we was out there in the streets stomping and stuff like that, we didn't know what was going to happen, but we just did it. But sometimes you can't punk out. You can't punk out. You have to be strong.
Story short.
Yes, I
A
believe that.
long
Yeah,
story short.
no
I'm
doubt.
sorry. I apologize for being long-winded.
No, you good.
You
We
good.
was
Thank
talking
you
No,
for
I
your
about
service.
apologize. I apologize for being long-winded. But
Hey,
what I'm trying to
JT, tell
say,
it like it is, man.
Sure do. And we
Well, I'm
certainly
saying what
don't
I'm saying.
mind.
And thank you again for your
I want-
service. We appreciate that.
and I thank you all. I thank y'all for being strong and understanding what I'm trying to say. Because here I go being long-winded again. I'm gonna give a shout out to a young man. Knock heads with. His name was Keon Jackson Malone.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Jackson Malone. Back in the days when he first started, I called him Brother Keon. The Keon Jackson Malone. He had a show. He had young people there on his show back in the days. And the young people, they told the truth. I told the truth about them. And those young people gave me a standing ovation because I said, what I said is,
All right.
you can't be afraid of young people. You have to, you give respect to them, they give respect to you back.
Absolutely.
You know what they did? They just stood up and gave me they gave me their own way, standing ovation, because they know I was telling the truth.
Hey,
You can't be afraid
JT.
about young people. You have to, enjoy and appreciate and respect our young people because they are our future.
Right. Thank you,
So
Mr.
young
JT.
people,
We
I ain't
appreciate
mad at
that.
you. I'm gone.
Yeah, we gotta take a break. We gotta take a break.
I know,
But thank you for calling. We
taking my
appreciate it.
call.
I know, of course. Thank you for calling in.
Rub y'all.
Love you too. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. All right. On B Voice Radio, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, talk about some cold winter topics, how to just make sure you're preparing yourself and being aware of what's going on. And then we'll kick back into play, just talk about what else was going on this week and some things that we usually do, which is just keep you updated locally and nationally. You on B Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Live, and I'm back in the building with the squad at WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. Myself and the co-hosts who I'm co-hosting with, Miss
Latoya.
Let's do it. Latoya, did you prep the right way for the cold air this week?
Yeah.
What did you
I got
do?
my long johns.
What did you do? Well, how
I
did you
got
prep?
my long johns.
Okay, so you got the long johns on. Was there any
I
other
made
prepping?
some chili.
You made some chili. Oh, okay. She got some hibernation.
I
fluid
went and
going
got
on.
some heaters.
Okay, she got some heaters. Okay,
so I don't burn up my electric gas bill.
right. Okay.
Huh?
Man, I got my air purifier fan on.
My
thing
son
last night.
is just
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I understand that. So you know,
he
with
got
that,
it. He has the. Do you have it in the window?
no,
He's
heck
still.
no.
I don't think he got it
No,
in the
that's
window
crazy.
these last couple of days, but all this winter he
No.
still had it in the window.
No, you ain't doing that. You cannot. You can't be playing around like that. But yeah, with just with this time of the year, a lot of us, tend to get a little comfortable, and with the increasing, car thefts, we do want to be mindful of just starting your car up. Make sure if you do got a automatic start, make sure you know your automatic start. I was just playing around with a friend of mine that got one and on a Lexus, and you was still able to put it in drive, even though the key was nowhere around.
Well,
so
mine ain't my automatic start. Soon as you touch my
gas pedal, mine cut off.
Soon as you touch, either the gas pedal or
soon you shift it, cut off.
The shift gear, it cuts right off. Yeah.
Right. So
but they also for this, Brian,
what's up?
For people that don't have an automatic, use a club on your car when you turn your cars on. Instead of putting your car in, your key in your ignition and locking the door and taking the one key, is when it's cold like this, it's easy to break a window.
Yeah, absolutely.
And jump in the car and go.
Yeah, and people trying to stay warm too. So this time of the year, people have been known
people
to steal
like to
cars,
jump out and run in the stores with leaving your car
and
running.
And people
that.
just like to steal cars to stay warm this time of the year, though. But why does your car not start when it's extremely cold? Of course, we do know that. Of course, your battery. If you got a weak battery, this will be the time to go get your battery checked as well. Just taking any steps, just even going into weather like this, precautionary steps. You can warm up the battery, which you can do by flashing the high beams about 20 to 30 seconds. Turn on the ignition if you drive a car with the injector. Wait a few seconds for the fuel pump to start working. Remember to pull the lever if your carburetor has no automatic choke. If your car has a manual transmission, shout out to my manual drivers, before starting the engine, depress the clutch pedal to disengage the frozen transmission from the motor. And also try to start your car, which should be turned on no longer than 10 to 15 seconds, or it can overheat. Attempt to start again after 1 minute passes. I know we don't listen to that, because I know myself, even I'm guilty of having my truck just, running, you're not really supposed to just have it idling, but who really is worried about that when you're trying to stay warm from one place to the next. Also, it's one thing, and I know a lot of my old schools on here will be doing it, but make sure that you got to, have a tank, or at least a full tank of gas in that thing, because the more space you have in your gas tank for any steam or freeze over, it can freeze the lines up, and of course stop fuel from getting to the necessary areas to start your engine. So please make sure that you have enough fuel in your car as well. So it's important at this time of the year. Just a reminder that I get from my family as well. And then of course we just know that that's something that everybody likes to tell their own people. But if you don't know, now you know. Make sure you got some gas in your car. We got a caller?
Caller on the air.
Come by on, man. What you got?
I wanted to say I hope my mom, my grandma, and my sister them can feel better, because we just lost my auntie and they've been going through it, and I wanted to hope that they can feel better and that they know that she is in a better place now.
Oh, my condolences to you, your sister, and your mom, and I hope they feel better too. Yeah. And you are so correct and courageous.
Yeah, yes, definitely bold for calling, definitely courageous. God bless you. God bless your whole family and everybody. And you make sure you stay strong for your family as well. Help them out wherever they need any assistance, okay?
Okay.
All right, take care. Thank you for calling. Wow, that was sweet. Thanks for calling. Yeah, so that's what it's about, I think that was one of our first child callers.
Yeah, man, that was the first.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the first
Yeah,
time I
child
heard
caller. Yeah, I haven't had it too. I don't think.
Oh shoot, we
Yeah.
broke the record.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah. Shout out
got
to
7, 8 years old.
right.
calling,
We got
man.
child callers calling. Shout out to our child caller for calling
For
in.
our youth. For our
Yeah.
youth.
The youth
And
calling
calling with an intelligent shout out.
in. Yeah.
Showing love to his mother and his sister, thinking about him because he know they sad right now.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful shout out.
All right, so I'm gonna switch gears and go back into a conversation that we were just talking about a minute ago. Within the pardons that we were talking about, that 1,500, I know we talked about just some people that were going to be released. So of those 1,500, we do have 11 Wisconsin residents among those hundreds of Americans that received those pardons for their involvement in the January 6th insurrection. Of course, as this is being a result to Trump making a promise on his campaign. But we'll get back to that in a second. We do have another caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, man, Brian. Good morning, Latoya, dear.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Carvey. Good morning, Mr. Rideout. Good morning, Milwaukee. Tyrone W. speaking. And sweetheart, the little young person that just called, God bless you. I love you. Condolences to your family. Be blessed, be strong, stay warm, and walk with the Holy Spirit. He'll walk with you. I just want to say, a lot of good topics this morning here. But just get the hand warmers, if you can. Find out where the warming centers are for those that need to go. But, go to the store there, Walgreens or whatever there, Walmart. Get the hand warmers there. They may be a little bit expensive there, but, put them in your gloves there. They last about 8 hours, the majority of them, some 10. But get the hand warmers there, and then try not to be in it too long there. But if you have to be out in it for a few hours there, get the hand warmers there. Oh man, it kind of lets you know that they're there, but that helps a bit there. So be blessed, enjoy, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
That was
Appreciate
right on
you,
time.
Tyrone.
Right on time for a break. What you think, Toy?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna take another break. We're gonna be a Voice Radio WNOV 106.5 FM with the crew. We'll see you in a little bit. Back, Be a Voice Radio Wisconsin Voices. I'm back with my supervisor / co-host / road dog / foodie partner. Well, I think we got we got a building full of foodies. I know Jermaine be getting it in too.
You better believe it, Jack.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah. We gonna do that thing. I'm gonna get that smoked corned beef going still too, man. I know.
Let me know, bro.
I got a few things. I'm old folks. I know,
that
Toya.
was
That was just
good.
2023 when you had the Mississippi pot roast. So I'll do that again this year. I just like to make them little dishes because I know they bangers, but
Yeah,
I-
man. My man brought some corned beef through. So what was his name? Tony. I think that was his name. I don't want to get it wrong, but that corned beef was fire, man.
For real.
So yeah, man, you
You
gonna have
gotta
to
see.
top that,
Yeah,
man.
I might top it, dude.
Hey,
Yeah,
I want
man,
to see.
The
Look,
way he smoke, yeah.
Hey, Doc,
man,
come on with it.
man.
Let me know what I got to put on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Look, I might have to do first one on me. If I make one, I make two. Usually make 2 or 3. So I might just.
Man.
I like to make an extra one just to have sitting around. So just giving one out just make me feel good either way. So for real. So yeah, I know we was talking about a little bit before the caller. We was talking about some of the pardons and things. I know, like Toya was mentioning, a lot of people are just upset. And I want to just hear what you were saying, Toya, a little bit more about how you feel, you know, what you seen and how
a
you
lot
see
of
from your
people
point of view.
are really upset over this 1500 pardoning the people that participated in the insurrection.
Yeah.
People died that day. Their whole intent was looking for Nancy Pelosi attack. It was an attack, a coup d'etat on the White House.
Yeah.
And your whole plot was to look for Vice President Pence and Nancy Pelosi. And because you were looking for Pence, because he wouldn't agree with Trump and he certified the election. So you pardoned all these people and you called them patriots, but yet you call people that protest for their rights and what they feel are right. Besides them, you call them animals and unpatriotic and not American.
Yeah.
And it's appalling, and I know it's appalling to people because the leader of the Proud Boys, you pardoned him. And you call these people patriots, but they are designed and set up to be racist. So, it's really sad to me and a lot of people, but we got a caller on the air if you want to take that call.
Yeah, let's go ahead, caller. Got a few minutes, couple minutes.
You have 1 minute. You have exactly 1 minute.
Okay, I just want to shout out to the little young man that called in. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
yes, it was. It was.
That was beautiful.
Thank you so much. That really was.
Thank you for calling in. Yeah, so just real quick, just to kind of talk about. I know we just mentioned in some of the pardons, but just some things that he was going after right out the gate. With the pardons, like you said, it was 11 here in the state of Wisconsin that actually were receiving a pardon from Trump. But outside of that, some other things that he was looking at that he had made some moves on pretty quick was if you guys seen some of the things that he had put into play or was already changing. He was already with the energy and environment. He signed the executive order withdrawing the United States from the Paris Climate Accords, which he also did when he took office. So if you don't remember, he did that in 2017, which I do remember that. And then if you did see last night, he did withdraws from the World Health Organization too. He will be increasing fracking and oil drilling, which has been shown to cause not only just issues to our ozone layer, but also within the ground and the structure and the foundation and the soil in certain areas across the country where people live at. It can disrupt their land, or it can even cause shifts in their land. But he signed the executive order declaring a national energy emergency, and another designed to ease permitting processes. And there's an Interior Department will have the power to offer new leases for drilling and natural gas extractions on federal land. So you'll see possible fracking and drilling on national lands, and that could be state parks. That could be parks and everything. A lot of those, like the Yosemites and all that, they got all that. Don't be surprised if you don't see some fracking or drilling going on in an area that's full of gases and probably a lot of oil. And I'm sure in that Yosemite area and all that middle country area. Of course, the government restructuring. He removing civil service protections for federal workers. Let's say he'll return to his sweeping first-term policy that will make it easier to fire tens of thousands of federal workers. He signed the executive order instituting a temporary hiring freeze, saying that it was to ensure that we're only hiring component people who are faithful to the American public, end quote. The order says that the hiring freeze doesn't apply to the military or to positions related to immigration enforcement, national security, or public safety. So anything that doesn't have anything to do with, having to move or ship people
Police
around.
security,
Yep, immigration.
Homeland
There you go.
Security,
What
the
she said.
Army.
Right. Anything that's good. Right. Trump has also signed a separate order requiring federal. Now, this is going to upset a lot of people. A lot of people who are working from home. A lot of federal employees to return to in-person work immediately, requiring federal employees to return to in-person work immediately. So, yeah. So that I guess it went immediately.
So that means that the people that was working from home
probably got emails last night or this morning saying they got to return for work.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, that was.
Yikes.
He didn't impose any tariffs Monday, saying his planned tariffs on Canada and Mexico would be imposed in February. He didn't specify a date for his planned tariffs on China, saying he is going to have some meetings and calls with the country's leader, Xi Jinping. I think I said his name right. And then it'd be a 25% tariffs on all Mexican and Canadian goods as well. So just before Thanksgiving, he said he'll levy significant tariffs on the U.S. neighbors because of illegal immigration. And it looks like he still wants to stick with that 60% tariff on all Chinese goods. He discussed the raising tariffs of 60%, and he's also complaining to the U.S. trade deficit with China is too large. The influx of deadly fentanyl, which the Drug Enforcement Administration has said China is a major source, has only exacerbated those tensions. So yeah, he's that's where he's starting at, to say the least, right now. On a lighter note, we at Wisconsin Voices will be engaging and speaking to you about all these things through our civic engagement programs and just making sure that we keep you in the loop. It's important. And our organizations that we work with are already starting to hit the ground with things that they got going on for once this weather breaks. So we want you guys to be informed and want you to be coming out and supporting
But
these
you know
groups and
something, Brian? It
organizations.
ain't
What's
even
up?
about the weather breaking, because it was over 100 people out there Thursday, as cold as it was, protesting that we didn't want an ICE building in Brown Deer.
That's good.
So people gonna come out in the cold. When you passionate about this, you passionate about you passionate about the fight.
Yeah.
And it's just, people need to start paying attention to your politics, your civic involvement in your communities.
I agree.
You need to vote for more than the president, because your local elections is just as important as your presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
This year, we're going to be voting on another Supreme Court justice. So we need to start really in April. So we really need to start getting involved with our political activities way better than just for the election year. For presidential election years.
Yeah.
But this is Be a Voice.
Be a Voice.
With Wisconsin Voices.
With Wisconsin Voices.
WNOVA 60.
Yeah.
106.5 FM. We'll see y'all next Monday, y'all.
Have a great one.